Yeah, hello viewers. Good morning to all. This is Dr. Kumar Swami, Assistant Professor, MGIT, Hyderabad. I am a Assistant Professor of Chemistry. I usually teach all BTech students for first year chemistry. So before going to start my demonstration, I would like to thank you, the Tutors Pride, for providing this opportunity. I welcome to all this session. Now I am going to explain the some basic importance of the fundamentals of spectroscopy. This topic is very interesting and important for all graduates. This is generally, spectrum. All spectra like UV, ultraviolet spectroscopy, NMR spectroscopy, IR spectroscopy, all these spectroscopies are working based on the radiation, electromagnetic radiation. So this electromagnetic radiation, the radiation ranges are different. What we discuss in that the radiation, like this is visible radiation. The visible radiation is from here. We are seeing VGR range, that is 3,800 to 7,600 angstrom range. So before this, after besides the visible radiation, the UV, this is ultraviolet radiation, that is from 400 to 800 nanometers. Later X-ray radiations, then gamma and cosmic radiation. All these radiations are more intensive and less wavelength. But beside this, left side of the visible radiation, infrared radiation, microwave radiations, and radio wave broadcasting, all these are all longer wavelengths and less intensive radiations. So based on this radiation, we will discuss radio variations or radio frequency radiations called NMR spectroscopy. These NMR spectra, if you want to get NMR spectra, so the NMR spectra is obtained by the radio frequency range of 4 to 900 megahertz. If you pass the 4 to 900 megahertz to any substance, you will get the respective NMR spectrum. So nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. Nuclear magnetic resonance meaning is there only. Nuclear means nucleus. If you take any atom, the nucleus is there. These nucleus, the electrons are continuously revolves around the nucleus. So during this situation, it can create a magnetic field. So any matter can revolves continuously like that. You can get a spectrum. You can get a magnetic field is there. So this magnetic field, it is depends upon the different kind of the nuclei. If you go for the magnetic nuclei like with the proton magnetic nuclei means that is this H1. This is called H1 NMR spectroscopy. This is C13 NMR spectroscopy or F19 NMR spectroscopy or 915 NMR spectroscopy. All these spectroscopic studies. So generally we are discussing proton NMR spectroscopy. Proton NMR spectroscopy means we are taking only hydrogen atom. This hydrogen atom contain one electron, one proton. This one electron, one proton. How to discuss this proton NMR spectroscopy? The most common atom, hydrogen, containing one atom, this nucleus contains only one proton. Generally, the theory of the NMR spectroscopy, continuously, the electrons are continuously revolves around the nucleus in a certain fixed path called orbits. This is called spinning. So this spinning is that maybe the electrons revolves around the nucleus in a clockwise direction is called plus off. Otherwise, the electron revolves around the nucleus in anti-clockwise direction is called minus off. So this is called spin quantum number. The spin states can be calculated by using 2i plus 1. So based on the spins, you can apply the energy on any atom. This is the spin plus off. When you are applying the magnetic field, external magnetic field is applied on the substance. The spinning movements you can understand. This is lower energy, this is higher energy. The alignment with the applied field is a positive direction. Here alignment is applied is opposite this against means when the electron moves in a higher energy state, it shows the negative field means plus minus of. So you can understand the hydrogen spin quantum number I is equal to plus of or minus part that can be calculated 2i plus 1 principal rule. So this is spinning nuclei. When if you take any atom when placed in the magnetic field, that atom, the electrons are continuously revolves around the nucleus and showing the plus or minus of this one. But what kind of elements can show the NMR spectra? That is very, very important. This NMR spectroscopy, here, this odd and even number concept of the atomic mass and atomic number. If the atomic mass and atomic number are both are odd, that is called H1, means proton NMR, atomic mass 1, atomic number 1. And the atomic mass odd and atomic number even can also show this NMR active. And this even and odd also not even and odd and even and even, this even and even cannot show the NMR spectrum, because here the number of mass, atomic mass is 12 and atomic number is 6. 6 to 12 means both are even numbers, but here C13 means atomic number 6 but atomic mass 13. So add even configuration, add odd configuration, even odd configurations can also show the NMR spectroscopy. This is the theory of NMR spectroscopy. What kind of atoms shows NMR spectrum? If you take any atom, that atomic mass and atomic number odd, even, odd, even kind of the molecules, atoms can show the NMR spectroscopy. Generally, this is, if you take any atom, the atom in absence of the magnetic field, these the spinning nuclei are random. The electrons or the arrangement of electrons are randomly. They are revolves around the nucleus like this. But if you take any atom when placed in an external magnetic field, it shows this kind of order. So these are all positive sign, plus of. The electron spin movements are upside direction, plus of, or some are downside direction, this minus of, plus of and minus of. Based on this kind of situation, you can predict the geometry of the molecule or the signals of the molecule by applying external magnetic field. So this is the NMR spectroscopy. Principle is U is equal to gamma V net by 2p. This is gyromagnetic ratio. And this is instrumentation. The NMR instrumentation is divided into 6 parts. This is a NMR sample holder. Just you take any sample, NMR sample when placed in this. This sample is placed between the magnetic field. Here you can understand this is the external magnetic field is applied. So the permanent magnet, this one, and you can apply the radio frequency amplifier, and this is audio amplifier and detector. When you take any atom when placed in this sample tube along with the TMS, it gives the spectral data. You will get this kind of spectral data. I don't want to go for the lengthy explanation for this because it is very different. And this is the schematic diagram of the NMR spectroscopy. A sample tube containing the sample with a TMS, tetramethylsilane. So when it is placed between the south and north pole, like means electromagnet, so it gives the radio frequency generator. You are applying 9.56 of megahertz of radiation is passes through the substance, and the detector can apply this. Detector can absorb the intensity, and it gives the final output of our compound. So this kind of signals are appeared in your display. This chemical shifting, how to calculate the NMR spectral values? NMR spectral values calculated by tau and delta values. This tau is equal to 10 minus theta. Theta indicates the downfield and large upfield shifts. So this is delta. The delta we can express it in ppm. ppm means what we call the ppm means parts per million. So in this sample tube, you understand the sample tube containing our sample as well as the reference. Why you are taking this reference? We are using the reference is tetramethylsilane. Why you are using the tetramethylsilane? Without using this tetramethylsilane, you cannot get the sample peaks. In the reference sample peaks means test molecule. So the TMS tetramethylsilane. This is a tetramethylsilane. This tetramethylsilane containing equivalent number of protons on CH3, CH3, CH3 like this. So why you are using this tetramethylsilane? There is a reason. It is chemically inert and visible in large amount of the large range of solvents, but we are using less. And 12 protons are there, CH3, 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 4 CH3 there, R CH3s are magnetically equivalent. And these protons are highly shielded and it gives only one signal, and it is less electronegative than carbon. It is volatile and it can be easily removed by the after completion of the experiment. So due to this, all these reasons, we are using TMS, tetramethylsilane is a most important NMR reference. You are using this. You can understand all these CH3, CH3, CH3. 4 CH3 are gives only one signal because all these CH3s are equivalent protons. So based on this importance, we are taking EMS tetramethylsilane as a reference solvent. And coming to once how to detect the molecule, which one, what are the protons present in the molecule, that is equivalent or non-equivalent protons. Equivalent and non-equivalent protons, you can see here this carbon containing 4 hydrogens are there. All hydrogen shows one type of peak, that is called equivalent peak. But here you see here this the environment of this first carbon is this carbon containing 3 hydrogen, this carbon containing 1 hydrogen. But this carbon environment is completely different from this because this carbon containing more electronegative atom like oxygen. So this proton environment is completely different from this. So these 3 protons gives one kind of signal and this proton give another kind of signal. So such protons are called non-equivalent protons. So in this you may got 2 signals. So based on these signals, you can understand how many signals are possible for this. So you can see here this is 1, 2 dichloroethane. How many signals are there? Here we have CH2, here we have CH2. Both the CH2s are equal. And you can see benzene. On benzene CH, 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 all these 6 carbons contain only 1 hydrogen. All hydrogens are equivalent hydrogens. So you will get 1 signal in the spectrum. Now coming to the phenol, all these 5 carbons containing 5 hydrogen, this 5 gives only one type of signal and this OH is another type of signal. So that here you will get 2 signals. And coming to here, it is also chlorine, and this CH and CH3. CH3 gives one kind of signal, this CH gives another kind of signal. So in this you will get 2 signals. So the CH3, CH3 both are equal environment, so it gives only 1 signal. Ethyl alcohols gives 3 signal because CH2 is different, CH3 is different, OH is different. It gives 3 signals. So based on the number of protons, and proton environment is very important. How to calculate the environment of the protons? The protons are equivalent or non-equivalent proton. If equivalent proton, it gives only 1 signal. Non-equivalent proton give different kind of signals based on the environment of the carbon. And coming to this, the protons in which range they are giving the signals, like most of the aromatic compounds gives the signal 6.5 to 8, and aldehyde gives 9 to 10, and this halogen compound 2.5 to 4. These are the different ranges are there. Based on the range, you can predict the molecules, where the hydroxy group signals, where the amine group signals, where the aldehydes, where the acid group signals are there. But how to understand the signal? The signal processing can be understood by n+1 rule. So n+1 rule means n is the number of hydrogens present on the particular carbon. You will take here the number of hydrogens are 0, that is called n+1 means singlet proton. If 1 hydrogen is there, 1+1 is called 2 means that signal is called doublet. If n is equal to 2, 2+1 is called triplet protons. Doublet, singlet, triplet protons are there. How to call the singlet proton? Only 1 proton is present, that is singlet. You will get this kind of single signal. 2 protons are there, 1:1, that is doublet proton. You will get this kind of proton 1. And triplet proton is there, 1:2:1, that is triplet 1, 2, 1. This is 1:2:1. Quartet is there, 1:3:3:1, that is quartet 1, 3, 3, 1. This is quartet. And pentate, hexate, heptate. These are the n+1 rule. By using this n+1 rule, you can predict the given molecule shows singlet peaks or doublet peaks or triplet peaks. And you see here, this is also same. By this molecule A and B, you have 2 signals are there. So only 1 signal is there, that is only singlet. But 2 signals are there, it is doublet. See here A, B is it, right? This is A and this one is B. How to calculate the n+1 signal? This is only 1:1 signal. So it is doublet because here we have A and S. For example, you want to you want to calculate the proton of this carbon containing only one hydrogen, better to you take this adjacent hydrogen. You want to explain the number of protons on this carbon. So please consider the adjacent carbon containing only one atom. So 1 plus 1 2 doublet, and this one also doublet. And coming to this, here this carbon only containing one hydrogen, this carbon containing two hydrogens. So coming to this carbon, this is a triplet and this one is a doublet. How this carbon triplet and doublet? Because this carbon, you want to explain this carbon, the adjacent carbon containing how many hydrogens? Two hydrogens are there. Means n is equal to 2. 2 plus 1 3 means triplet. This carbon is triplet. And coming to this one, this carbon, this hydrogen adjacent carbon containing only one hydrogen. So 1 plus 1. So it is doublet. Singlet, this doublet, and this one is triplet. And coming to this, so this is quartet. Quartet means how many hydrogens present on this carbon? 1, 2, 3 hydrogens are there. 3 plus 1, 4. So this carbon is quartet, while this carbon is doublet because this carbon containing only one hydrogen. 1 plus 1 is called 2, that is doublet protons. You can understand the signals, how to get the signals in NMR spectroscopy. See here, this is CH2, CHBr2. Here, this carbon only one hydrogen, this carbon has two hydrogens. So coming to the situation, you know here CH proton, CH. This CH, how this CH2 is triplet? Because this CH, the adjacent group containing CH2, 2 plus 1, 3 means it is triplet proton. You will get this kind of signal in NMR spectroscopy. Whereas this carbon CH2, this CH2 gives the adjacent carbon only CH, only one proton. So it is 1 plus 1, 2. This is called a doublet proton. So this doublet is, you will get this kind of spectrum in the molecule. And this is also same way you can understand CH3, CH2, Br. This A, for example, you want to show this one, the CH2 molecule, the adjacent atom containing carbon containing 3 hydrogens. 3 plus 1 means 4. So this A is quartet. A is quartet because it has 2 hydrogens. That means the CH2 is quartet. CH3 is a triplet. Why the CH3 is triplet? Because this carbon, adjacent carbon is 2. 2 plus 1 3. So this carbon is triplet. This carbon is quartet. You know, A is quartet. 4 lines are there, and B is triplet. 3 lines are there. And coming to NMR spectrum of ethyl alcohol, so this ethyl alcohol also gives the same signals. Like here we have 3 carbons, 3 protons are there. This is 1, 2 and 3. Means A, B, C. You can understand this A is CH3, B is CH2 and O is CH. So this OH hydroxy is always singlet proton. This CH2, you can understand how many hydrogen atoms on this carbon. 3. 3 plus 1, 4 means this CH2 is quartet. And coming to this CH3 gives only 2 hydrogens on this adjacent group. So these 2 hydrogens, 2 plus 1, 3 means it is triplet protons. So this is about the NMR spectrum of molecules, how to give the signals and how to calculate the signals based on, if you want to know the spectrum, the spectroscopic values. Based on the spectroscopic values, you can understand the given molecule is correct or not. Our synthesized molecule is correct or not can be determined by the one of the spectroscopic technique is called NMR spectroscopy. This NMR spectroscopy is very, very important for all kinds of the metal, you know, that pharmaceutical industries and some kind of metal industries and mechanical material sciences like that. And coming to the importance of the NMR spectroscopy, this NMR spectroscopy is also used in biomedical industry, like, you know, MRI. This MRI is a radiology techniques. This MRI is it is based on the principles of nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. Most of you know MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. This is MRI. The MRI scanning, once you apply the radio frequency, this is he is the father of MRI, Raymond Vihan Ramadian. So you can understand MRI and fMRI images this. So once the MRI scanning means a person, you know, this is the principles. MRI is used for only singlet hydrogen. the singlet hydrogen nucleus, only one proton is entered in our body tissue cells. It can diagnose the what kind of the problems present inside the body. This is a random process. Once the hydrogen molecules are arranged in a sequential order. So in the first, all the protons are in a restless position. Once you have applied a strong magnetic field, all the protons are aligned positive and negative direction, means plus off and minus off. So during the working process, they are in this mode, and after completion of the experiment, all the protons are again in this resting mode. So based on this principle, we can predict the situation of the patient, like the radiology techniques, where it is applicable. These MRI is used for the most alignment of brain, including brain or including tumors, sport joints, musculoskeletal problems, and most spinal conditions, injured vascular abnormalities, female pelvic problems, prostate problems, and gastrointestinal tract conditions. All these conditions can be understood by the using NMR spectroscopy. And in most recently, different NMR spectroscopy, fMRI also, now it is in market, fMRI. So these are the devices, how it is working based on the scanner, computer, and radio frequency. So scanner, computer, this is MRI. So here we are using, this is radio frequency coil. So once the radio frequency coil receive the energy from 4 to 900 megahertz. So once the 4 to 900 megahertz is allowed into this radio frequency, means MRI scanner. So the scanner in the protons, all the protons from the hydrogen in our body also containing fluids. So this hydrogen detect the position of the patient. So there are different kind of photon NMR spectroscopy. These are the radio frequency ranges. Advantages are very good. It gives the spectrum and it gives the construct resolution um, and variable. But the disadvantage is one thing, it cannot be used particularly when the body is containing any kind of metal joints. So this is non-ionizing radiation. There is no problem once it is passes through our body. So the NMRI, they are using different kind of NMRI, body MRI, and breast MRI, cardiac MRI, and different kind of MRI scannings are there. So these are the importance. Today we are using different kind of NMR spectroscopy and applications widely used in pharmaceutical industries like our metabolic system, RNA, DNA, proteins, biochemistry. It is also used in physical chemistry like high diffusion, liquid crystals, and liquid crystal solutions. MRI, NMR is also used in food science. It is used for inorganic solids and organic solids. Right? It is widely used in pharmaceutical industries, particularly preparation of drugs, and it is also used in anisotropic purpose. And so this is applications of NMR spectroscopy. You can understand this. So this is about today's topic. Nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy is useful topic for all kind of engineering graduates and science graduates. Mostly in science graduates, the chemistry must know the knowledge of the NMR spectroscopy.